Hello everyone, I am Surrendalot Reviews and I'm back, and I'm ready to look at some more Generation 1 Transformers. But before I get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if I can't convince you, perhaps this picture of my cat will convince you. And random fact about my cat society is that garden hoses there shoot lava instead of water. But without further ado, let's get into this. So, the first episode we're gonna look at is The 5 Faces of Darkness Part 5, where we can finally finish off this 5-parter. But without further ado, let's get into this! So, the episode starts off right where we left off last time, with the Decepticons attacking Cybertron after they knocked out the power, and Trypticon, the Decepticon battle platform, attacking Autobot headquarters. And the Autobots on Earth are able to barely graze Trypticon before he turns into Mechagodzilla to go to Autobot base. Meanwhile, Skylynx has intercepted a transmission to, go to Io and maybe go help out Blur and friends. Meanwhile, with the Autobots back on Earth, well...
We've got to hold that thing off till the cog arrives. As Optimus Prime used to say, transform and roll out!
Okay, monster, let's see how you like the old 1-2. You can't do that! I don't believe it!
They fail pretty spectacularly at stopping Trypticon from destroying Autobot base. Meanwhile, with the Decepticons, they're doing a pretty good job of defeating the Autobots on Cybertron, even though that the Autobots are fighting very valiantly. And Galvatron wants Blitzwing to give a status report to the Quintessons. However, Blitzwing overhears something interesting.
Cons, your mission will take you deep into Cybertron. Expect resistance from the Autobots. However, the Decepticons will make no attempt to stop you. Galvatron believes you are helping him locate the Decepticon Matrix, which doesn't exist. At coordinates Omega-01, you will find a large switch. Push it to the down position. Down, understand? Down! This will render all of the Transformers inert, and Cybertron will be ours again.
Okay, for the Quintessons, I gotta ask, is it really necessary to, put all the details of your evil plan? I mean, that would be like me quite literally stating how much I committed a murder, just, with all the nitty-gritty details and, not shutting up when it might be just a bit necessary to do it. I mean, just in case somebody listened, I'm pretty sure the Sharkticons would probably know, hey, just go down here and push this lever down. Just do it. No special reason, just do it. And I'm sure they'll listen or something like that. Meanwhile, Skylynx manages to get down there and help Wheelie and friends on Io. And then they have to fight the Predacons. And they at first do pretty well against the Predacons, but not so much against Predaking, until Skylynx end up defeating Predaking. And then Blur and friends, along with the Transforming Cog, end up getting off of Io. Meanwhile, with Blaster on Earth, well, Trypticon is right now on top of Autobot City and Metroplex, and they're basically gonna have to fight without the Transformation Cog. But luckily, Skylynx manages to crash land on Earth, and Blur, Wheelie, and friends end up getting the transformation cog to Metroplex. And Blitzwing tries to warn Galvatron, but unfortunately, Galvatron is not hearing that he could probably be wrong, and Blitzwing is now forced to have to go to the Autobots to tell them that, yeah, we should probably do something about the Quintessons who want to destroy us all. And with Metroplex having the transformation cog, well, this scene here happens.
Flex, flex!
This planet's not big enough for the both of us. Crush Metroplex!
Okay, I don't know what I love the most about the ending of this fight. It being either the part where Trypticon was apparently not quite built to swim for some reason on, you know, the Earth, where 75% of the planet is only ocean, which, you know, has a lot of water in it, might be a bit of a design flaw on that planet, or the fact that, Trypticon was thrown by Metroplex so far he somehow managed to defy the laws of physics. I don't know what I thought was better. Anyways, so Rodimus and Blitzwing try to stop the Sharkticons from activating the, switch here, but unfortunately Galvatron thinks that it still has a, Decepticon matrix and activates it, and freezes all the Autobots and Decepticons. But the Quintessons, in their, arrogance, do not take into account that somebody might be there who might be able to shut the thing off, and Spike ends up using Rodimus's gun and shoots the console, basically unfreezing everybody, and the Quintessons escape, and Blitzwing is kicked out of the Decepticons, and Galvatron and the Decepticons decide to retreat, and the Autobots realize that they now have the Quintessons to deal with, and the episode ends. And overall, I will say that the Five Faces of Darkness finale was a really good finale. And overall, I will say that the Five Faces of Darkness entire saga was really good. And a really good follow-up to Transformers the movie. I will say that it didn't really start out all that great, but it definitely got better as the series went on. And I also really like how, even to the end, until it was literally proven to Galvatron that he still believed that there was a Decepticon matrix that the Quintessons were willing to give him, and how Galvatron, not being as stable as Megatron, is not quite taking the fact that he has been proven wrong very well, and just cast Blitzwing out just because of that. And I also really like how we get the first fight between Metroplex and Trypticon, and I thought it was a really good fight, and I especially like the part where Metroplex just threw Trypticon so far that he just defied the laws of physics. And overall, I will say that this episode's a really good finale to the Five Faces of Darkness, and I will say, without further ado, on to the next episode, which is The Killing Jar, where the Quintessons perform a bit of a questionable experiment on the Autobots and some Decepticons and even a human. But without further ado, let's get into this! So the episode starts out with this Quintesson here, basically kidnapping an Autobot, Ultra Magnus, a Decepticon, Cyclonus, a human, Marissa, and a Junkion, Rekgar. And Rekgar's, reaction to being a test subject is, actually pretty funny.
And girls, the best way to get your way is to be good every day.
Remember, boys and girls, best day to get your way is be good. Say hey, hey.
And now, kids, it's time for a word from our sponsors, who's come all the way from the planet Junkion.
Smile. Now can the camera insta-clicks me.
Come inside, Rekgar, and say hello to the studio audience.
Take a Junkion out of the most cluttered environment in the galaxy, then place him in a completely bare cell. He should be shocked into total inactivity by the change.
Home, sweet home.
As an Autobot, this Junkion should have reacted as I predicted. Remarkable.
But when the prisoners get introduced to each other, well, the Quintesson wants to experiment on Marissa first, but unfortunately Rekgar breaks her out, and, well, they happen to be passing through an electrostorm, which, kinda causes some, problems. And, okay, I'm gonna give this episode some crap for this, but, that was literally 1/3 of the episode that I described in like 2 minutes, and half of that was literally just some part that I really liked about the episode, so I don't really think that that counts as me explaining it for 2 minutes, and I really think that that's kind of something that works against this episode, is that it kind of just, that whole part of getting the test subjects for the Quintesson, I feel like that probably could have been, like, not have one character or one or two. Maybe have it, like, just be 2 characters. And I think then that would really help the pacing of this episode, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because a lot of this kind of just feels a bit like filler, if I'm being perfectly honest. But luckily for the Quintesson, well, he and the Sharkticon are able to get the ship under control. But unfortunately, the prisoners are now free, and, well, Cyclonus and Ultra Magnus are fighting each other, Rekgar is fighting the Sharkticon, and the Quintesson is so far getting defeated by Marissa. And they both end up finding out that the ship is about to go near a black hole, and, well, they all stop fighting, the Quintesson tries to retreat, but unfortunately the last escape pod goes before he can, evacuate, and Ultra Magnus goes out to space. But luckily, Ultra Magnus is alright, and Cyclonus ends up saving him, and the, entire crew is actually going to have to set their differences aside for one moment, so now they can work out a solution on how to get out of this, now negative dimension. And they end up doing so, and, well, everybody goes back to, their respective homes, and all is well, and the episode ends. Okay. I really do not like to say this, but this episode's not really the best. I mean, this episode kinda has more of a pacing problem, is just my biggest problem with the entire episode. I mean, I was literally able to describe the entire plot to this entire episode in just a few minutes, and a good chunk of that was quite literally just one scene that I really liked, like I said before. And a lot of this episode is really just filler, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, I think this episode really should have just given, like, Marissa more character development, and probably just take out, like, Rekgar, if I'm being perfectly honest. Maybe have it so Cyclonus is gonna have to work together with Ultra Magnus and Marissa to get out of that, science death trap there. And my biggest problem also just has to do with the fact that literally the Quintesson also just has the biggest problem, and the Sharkticon as well, with just being filler characters. That's my biggest problem. And I think that we really should have gotten like a bit more character development, if I'm being perfectly honest. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. And I think with that, that's gonna do it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.